See all of that. See the positive.
Going in. Mic is on. All right, guys, Rob is here. We got some media in the room. We'll start in the room as always, and then if we have time, we'll go to Zoom. Doug, lead us off.
Just in kind of a theme from the past few games, considering the circumstances, no Almada, 4 homegrowns in the roster. Is this a point that you're proud of tonight, or are you disappointed that you couldn't get all 3?
I mean, the outcome is always the goal that we have for the outcome is always the same. We always want to win. So 3 points is what we're always going for, no matter home, away, who's on the field, who's not on the field. So yeah, I think you'll always have a little bit of disappointment. But what I will say is that before the game, and even in going into the road trip, but before the game, we talked about some things, and I saw that out there. And yeah, we bent a little bit, but we never broke. And I think that I hope that this carries us a long way. It wasn't pretty. It's not exactly how we want to see games, but these are 2 opponents that play in a way that make it really difficult. And I think to answer your question, yeah, I am proud. I am proud of them.
The Jay Fortune tonight, to me, I thought had an immense game. He's a guy who doesn't get a lot of consistent starts because of the talent ahead of him on the depth chart. But how important was he to getting the result tonight?
Yeah, he was big. I think that he is always nipping at these guys' heels, and that's the best thing about having a roster that we have, or having a team, is that you want competition. This is the competition we want, that these guys know that this kid is right there on their heels, and he deserves an opportunity. I talked to him right before, the game. I've talked to him, I had multiple conversations as the weeks have kind of gone on, and he knows that there's opportunity, and I think he pushes really hard in a way, in a respectful way. But he also knows that like he can step in and do a job. So I think it, again, creates really good competition. Not everyone's going to play every game, and there will be people unhappy all the time, and that's the nature of it. But how we handle ourselves, and when the moment comes, can you really step up? And Jay shows that.
And just why 2 strikers tonight, and how do you think that was executed?
Yeah, we adapted a little bit within it. When we talked to them before the game about having to be able to be adaptable with that, we started with a front 3, I would call it, and then from there we started to see some different movements and different ways we would have to defend. Would be sometimes 2, sometimes 1 underneath, and then in the game, I felt like we were getting cut open too much in the middle, and it was not working. And so that's why we tried to get a 3rd midfielder on, and then go with the 2 up top. So, and also to hit him in transition, because we knew it was going to be a transitional game, and we couldn't avoid that. We wanted to try to counter that and hurt them in transition, and we did at times. Shonda picked up the ball at that very end for the the pass into Daniel Rios. So there's an opportunity. So yeah, we adapted from the front 3 to the 2. It was more about the midfield and the work that they put in. So, and I mean that's a big credit to them, all of them.
Was always the plan coming in to get Stian 45?
As many minutes as we can. Like obviously we look at each game as it is, and I think that's the part of the coaching part of it, that we all as a staff are looking at what's in front of us. And I think we were evaluating, was he ready to start a game? What are the rest of the guys' legs look like? How fresh are they going to be? Because for me, that was a big part of it. How fresh can we be going into the game? And then, making sure that Stian's on the pitch and he stays on the field. We want guys to stay healthy. So it was never like the plan, like, hey, let's just get him 45. It was more about what the game gives. And yeah, it's good to see him get back out there, and hopefully we keep him out healthy and on the field.
How important has it been getting Derek back in terms of his leadership on that back line?
Yeah, Derek's a great leader. He's not always the loudest, but he leads by example, and in little ways you can see him communicate with the 2 young ones on either side of him. I think guys that have experience and then they can draw on that experience is always important in a team, and then having that balance. Like he's got youthful people next to him, and he can pass on information. So from his experience. So yeah, he's been tremendous. We just got to keep everybody ticking over and keep that competition, because there will be people that are ready to step up, and he's got to compete just like the rest of them.
St. Louis has always been a team that when they get one, a lot of times a second or a third comes quickly. How would you assess how your guys handled that situation and their composure?
Yeah, it was the sick part of me kind of likes it. You hear the crowd kind of cheering against you, and it's just like, some gives me this little smile of like, all right, come on, here we go. Wasn't happy they scored, don't get me wrong on saying that, but like, I want to see what the reaction is going to be. Like, let's see what kind of team we got. And I talked to them a lot about when we're on the road, just block out the noise. Like the only noise that matters is the noise inside our own head, inside our 4 walls. And when that happened, I try to keep telling them like, close your ears. That doesn't matter whether they heard me or not. But that relentlessness is going to serve them a lot in the long run. So I was proud of them that they could fight back, and I would like that we not fight back. I'd like to be on the other side of it, but you know that's important.
You've had 3 games now in 8 days. Now you get a little bit of a more traditional week. I'm curious, what kind of self-analysis are you going to do about yourself and what you're trying to do this first week that you might either keep doing or you might change going into this next match?
That's a good question. I mean, we're always after a game or after training, we're always reflecting on things, the ways we can get better as a team. And the big part of it is like how I always go back to like the person and how we're getting better as people, or how we're, catering to the individuals. And that's always at the forefront of my mind, is like, how are we checking in on the guys? Like, where are they at mentally? Yes, where are they at physically? Those things. And then from there, like from my own standpoint as a coach and the coaching staff, is that, are we evaluating whether it's team selection or what we're doing in training and being really intentional? Like, I want to make sure that we continue on that. And I think we will. Like, Robbo's been great to have on the bench. He's a calming influence, and I think he's bringing exactly what I thought, and they all are, and I just single him out because of his experience in moments like this, and I think that we'll reflect on substitutions, we'll reflect on team selections, like we'll continue to reflect on that. But the biggest thing going into the next week will be about how intentional we can be with the training hours that we do have, and making sure we keep pushing on, because now they've shown us something that we maybe didn't see before, and now they have to keep that standard.
And that something is, how would you describe it?
Well, there's three words I've been using: persistence, commitment, and then the last one today was relentlessness.
Okay.
All right, any questions on Zoom for Rob? All right, thank you, Rob. We'll have Johnny in here shortly. All right, everybody, we got Jay here. Once again, we'll start with questions in the room. Doug, go ahead.
Jay, coach was telling us that he's kind of focused on 3 words with y'all: relentlessness, commitment, and I've forgotten the other one. But I'm curious how you think y'all performed in those areas tonight.
Yeah, I think 2 out of 3 words you provided.
You remember the other one?
We did quite well. And I think, we're a group that's able to do all those things, and from the starting group to the people who come off the bench, we want to fight for each other, and we don't want to let ourselves down. We don't want to let the fans down, our families down, teammates, staff, and whatnot. So those words, I mean, it's something that is going to be talked about a lot in our group, and something that we all can do, and we're all going to focus on for the rest of the year. And I think we did that tonight.
Why is it perhaps working better now than maybe it was earlier this year?
I don't know. I think everybody here knows that the first half of the season is not what we wanted, and we want to win. We want to perform. We want to be in playoffs, do well in Open Cup, Leagues Cup, and all that we can win. And I think the break we had was big for us. A week away for everybody to just kind of put that behind us and come back knowing that that's not what we wanted. That's not a team that we wanted to look like, and that's not the team that we're supposed to be. LA United's a big club, and we want to represent the club properly. And I think coming back into it, we came back with a fresh mind to attack the second half of the season in the right way.
I thought you had a fantastic performance in the match, particularly in the first half. What were you asked to do by the coaching staff, or what did you decide you wanted to try to do?
I think playing alongside Tristan, not one of us is a full-on 6, but at the same time, we're always willing to do the work for each other. Sometimes with Dax, he'll sit a little more, and that allows one of us to venture on a little bit further. But we work well together. As long as one person was in the middle of the field at all times between the both of us, it allowed the other one to be a little bit free. And I think, Tristan and I, we provide different dynamics going forward. And I think, it was first start for me in a while. And, my biggest thing is just trying to do the best that I can. I want to try and make it difficult for the other midfielders around me. They'll do the same for me, and just also trying to make Rob's decision difficult on a match day, just so that my name's always in the rotation to start on the weekend.
He's talked about that you pushed hard and you're like that close, and you've been polite about it. I thought was an interesting way to say it. How difficult has it been for you to keep pushing when you've got these talented guys that have started most of the games ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's fun to have that competition, and we're close with each other. If it's not me one weekend, I'm still gonna support them, still be happy for them. Obviously, it's not the easiest because you want to play, and I've had my ups and down moments throughout the season, but it's a team. It's a team at the end of the day, and it's not about me. So if my name's not the one that's called on a weekend, I'm not going to sulk about it. I'm going to support the guys, and I might end up coming off the bench. So I think trying to have the right mindset going into those games is key, and just keep doing everything I can week in, week out to try and start the next weekend.
In that first half with you and Tristan as more of a duo without a 10 in front of you, did that in some ways open you up to get forward and impact the game in the attacking half a little bit more?
Yeah, it allowed for that a little bit more. There are moments throughout the game where the front three were holding the ball up well, but we were still kind of missing that someone to kind of fill in that 10 role. And Tristan and I were talking with each other throughout the game, or Jay go, Tristan go, whoever it is, to just try and fill up that space, knowing that there's a guy behind us that's going to try and cover. And I think the more we're able to get in those situations to try and affect the play higher up the field, the more we can try and get those goals from midfield, which I think is something that we can help with the team.
We talk a lot about the goalkeepers union, but your position is one that we don't talk about enough, and how important it is in a team. Could you describe the togetherness that you guys, you're all competing for time, but you and Dax and Tristan and Bartek have in pushing one another to make the group better?
Yeah, I think we're all competitors. We all like to compete. And it's a very talented group. Everybody brings a different aspect to it. You have Bartek away at the Euros, that speaks for himself. Dax has been in the league for a long time, and Tristan is Tristan. I'll just leave it there. So, we enjoy it. The group, the four of us are always in good spirits, always laughing and joking with each other. And I think because of that, it makes it a little bit easier to want to compete. And when we compete against each other in training, we're always pushing to make each other better. And that's all that we can ask for.
4 points out of 6 on this trip, and this one you had to come back to get it after conceding first. How important was it to get out of here with something?
That was very important. I think, the message from Brad as we walked in the locker room was, if we can't win, we don't lose. And on the road was always difficult for us in the past. And I think to win our last 2 on the road before this game and to walk away with at least a draw after being behind shows the character that the team developing. So
Excellent. Thank you, guys. We got to run. Thank you, everybody.